Hi everyone, happy winter. Welcome to my messy home. As promised, I am paying my debts. I promised to do a video in English for something I posted in Spanish, and I know my English speakers are probably going like, what's going on? The idea is that this year we're going to be posting a series of videos, around 10 to 12 videos maybe. No, there's no real it's not that we want more followers or more publicity. No, I just want to be able to connect with you at your homes at a different level and maybe inform you. So it's connecting and inform you on the business and the real estate market, because I feel there's a lot of misinformation out there, and we're going to try our best to compile everything and put it in simple terms for you. If you don't understand something that I'm saying, please ask me. I also want to start by sending a hug to everyone and sending a lot of good vibes for 2020. It's a year. We'll see what happens from there. I'm going to break it up into predictions to what a realtor can do for you. We're going to get started already with the predictions. I send you a packet on the mail where you're going to receive a small calendar with recipes from me, and you're going to receive the outlook for the real estate year of 2020. But I want to get into detail and explaining those predictions. We have around 8 predictions for the year. Two disclaimers before we get started. I am not an accountant, I am not a lawyer, I am not a financial guru, and I'm not a magician. So I don't have a crystal ball either. But I will, if you have specific questions about your financials, your legalities, and so on, I will refer you to some of the very good lawyers, both English or Spanish, whatever you prefer, or financial people or lenders or anyone, accountants, anyone that can answer that question for you. I am, however, a business professional, and I can give you a lot of information about that. But the warning again, if you have something more complicated, check it out with the professional in that area. The other disclaimer is that I'm only talking about the market in the northwest suburban area of Illinois. And I could go as close to Chicago, but I am no expert in Indiana. I'm no expert in Texas. I'm no expert in Seattle or somewhere else in the country where things would be different. Having said that, I'm going to move on. You will receive at your homes this envelope. If you want one, send me your address. I've tried to send to most of the people in my contact list, but some people that didn't respond last year, I didn't send them. And you're gonna get a little bit of good vibes. I am also inviting you to check out our other 2 pages. It's called Marlies, to which I am going to put a link here below of the video, and the other one is Marbaja. One is recipes in Spanish, in English, for a lot of that Latin American dishes, and also very nutritious dishes that you can check out. And Marbaja is all the information about Los Cabos area. We're trying to get into the real estate market in Los Cabos. It's taking us a little longer, but if you have any questions, we can for sure refer you or help you out about that. This is a little calendar you're gonna get with my card, my number, same information, same email, same address, same companies. And you're gonna get a bunch of recipes, quick recipes, and you can go try whatever you want. Moving on to the predictions. So we are, what I was telling people in my other video is that there's a lot of agents out there that are killing it, right? They're selling, they're saying market's great, everything is excellent, and it is excellent for a lot of agents. However, for the buyer, I always recommend to them, be conservative, know what you're investing in. If you don't like tenants, if you don't like real estate, don't get over your head. Don't buy 5 houses when you could have bought 3, or buy one, see how it goes, then buy the next one. Take it slow, right? Or if you have an inventory of 3 to 4 homes, sell one, then buy another one. Always do what you can manage. If you feel you're ready to manage more, then I highly suggest you get some license, either an inspecting and rehabbing or some realtor's license, and start learning the process, because it's not a matter of just doing it. There's a lot of learning in the process that it's involved in the process of real estate. However, you can always be, I see that people can be more creative in real estate than they are being. For example, you don't always have to live in the home if you don't like it. You can always rent it. You can buy a home where you live and rent the other one. You can sell the one you don't like while buying another one. If you don't think it'll sell fast, you can rent it for a while and still move. There's a lot of financial opportunity out there to buy something while you have something else. But focus on the goal. If you don't really want the two homes, focus on trying to sell that other one. So be conservative. It is a good market. We are going to have a good spring and good summer. Things are selling. The reason why they're selling so fast is because there's a low inventory of homes, which means there aren't a lot of new homes being built out there that we need for people. Millennials in particular, they want something very minimalistic, very move-in ready. So think about those things where you're trying to sell. The first prediction, so that is the one. Market is really good, market is excellent, but it keeps changing, and we can't predict. The truth is something in between, right? We are having a good time, but we cannot predict a year down the road. So be conservative in your investments, ask questions, inform yourself. The second prediction, interest rates. Interest rates are really, really low. I mean, we have been getting interest rates at the 3.78, 3.8. If you're not getting that interest, talk to us, because we can refer you to a lender that can give it to you. But depending on everybody's finances, if your credit is not the greatest, your interest will be a little higher. So it could go from 3.75 to 4.1. So check those things out, but we are now at a 3-year low of interest, and some of the analysts do not know what it means. They don't know, like, should we continue lowering their interest, knowing that things aren't, and they could be even better for real estate. But in general, everybody's remaining positive. Why am I positive about this market? Because the people buying new homes are people, for example, the children of baby boomers that want to go and get their own place. The families are expanding, so you have already 3 families living in the same home, so they want to get their own home. That's why I think the market is being positive, because we are getting those adjustments. People are finally at a point where they feel comfortable making the investment. They're fine if they're still not ready. And the interest, remember that you can always buy points to lower your interest rate. If you are young and you have a lot of other debts to pay, this is something smart that you can do, because you just never know what will happen next. We also see a lot having to do with the supply and demand. Like I say, things are selling out there. If your house is not selling, either you don't have a good agent, it is not the house of the category that people want, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Again, people want clean, declutter, maybe throw a little bit of paint in there, be minimalistic, meaning get all your stuff out of there as soon as possible and put it in a storage. Most of the stuff you can. People are not interested in your stuff. They want new things. Get professionals, get professional photos taken. There's a lot of homes out there that aren't selling. And then I start looking at the photos. I'm like, this is the reason. You don't have a good photographer. You didn't even do the photos right. What kind of realtor do you have? Minimize your pain and sell quicker, because doing more work at first for the property is going to get your home sold. If your realtor is not advising you on these items, I highly suggest looking for other opinions and doing your best. But realtors should be able to help you. They should be able to make the sacrifices themselves as well. If they need to find you a photographer, if they need to find you a storage unit. We do things quickly. We don't like to slow down. A realtor that's slow is not a good realtor. So look for that realtor that's going to support you in doing these things. Or if you can do them yourself, even better, keep your realtor posted. We did this new carpet, we painted again, we cleaned the house for another showings, things like that. Going into the numbers, right? The low inventory in construction. There, the realtor world, if you will, it's predicting that it's saying that in 2019 we sold around 16,000 homes a day in the country. 16, 16 mil. Even though it's a great number, even though it's telling you it's a healthy market, it's still lower than 2018. It's a 1% lower. Now, if we remember, for 2018, we had a lot more advantages. The government was giving some more incentives. So we're trying to get back to that, to find some more incentives for people that are already lobbying into asking the government for a little bit more of a break. But this number shows 1% low, even though it's still steady. It's still a good market, don't get me wrong. The goal for 2020 is to do 17,000 homes. Now, the problem is that we can only get to that number if we have more inventory. There's not enough homes being built out there. There's not enough homes for sale. So if you're thinking of selling, don't think it twice and put your house in the market, because people want it. If it's not, I'm going to tell you that if it's not selling, it's possibly because a young couple, a new couple cannot afford it, meaning it's any home that it's under $300,000 is still very much affordable, what we consider affordable housing, believe it or not. But any home that's 400,000, 500,000, a young couple, millennials that are choosing not to have that many kids don't want it. B, the area in which the home is possibly very expensive. And C, people are looking real hard at the taxes and maintenance for that home. They're buying it smart. And so I don't want to be the messenger of bad news. There are still people out there looking for your home, but it's going to take you longer, and it's going to take you being creative about what you've invested in your property. But not only do you have that, but do you have a plan? Do you have appropriate zoning? Do you have other things that make that property more attractive? If it makes it more weird or less attractive, you're definitely going to go into problems. Having said that, so we're still worried about not enough new homes being built. But I'll tell you what was big. Why are there not enough homes built? Because construction is expensive, very expensive out there. It's starting from employees to materials, etc. Not enough government breaks. Honestly, the government should be paying more attention, as well as the industry. There's not enough people trusting builders or trusting their money with builders, which we need more of. I also don't think that the builders out there have a very creative product. In other words, people like homes that are not too big, but are also homes that are independent. For example, I don't think people are really against duplexes or having their unit next to another unit. I don't think that's a problem. The problem is that less and less people want an apartment unit or a condominium unit. More people want the house with the yard, but younger demographics are like, maybe I don't want to maintain that yard. So I still think that those units that are duplexes, let's say, I live in unit A, my friend lives in unit B, we both have separate housing. I think those products are very sellable, but we just don't have enough of them out there, not enough creativity, I guess. So builders, pay attention to that. That will bring me to the following prediction. I forgot the number we're in, which is rentals. Rentals are continuing to be on demand. You can actually rent a home for more than the mortgage you're paying, and that's no problem. Bigger homes, rents are going high as well because some people want a bigger home. Pay attention that when they're willing to pay more money, sometimes you don't have the right families, or you have two families into a home. So if you want your home well taken care of, you might be better off taking a pay cut from that rent to find that particular tenant. For the same reason, people are moving to other places. The home, we'll talk about the next one, which is home affordability. People are willing to get out of cities into a suburb in which they're going to pay less rent or less mortgage, but especially the younger generations, they want something else in that suburb. They want entertainment, they want theaters, they want restaurants, they want bars, they want something that is going to create more of a work-life balance for them. And commuting is still a factor. So most of those suburbs next to the city, right next to the city, are going to be very successful because people will be willing to go there if there's enough entertainment or services or good schools that are important for younger couples in particular. What are the seniors looking for? Kind of maybe the same, because they're looking to save money, downgrade, so that means also moving out of the city. And then they're looking for units that are on the first floor, or not too high of a floor, and things like accessible laundromats and accessible entrances. It is something you really start thinking about after you're 40. For 2019, our buyers will be 30% millennials, so a lot of those numbers going to play. What we call these, looking out for that hipster, we're calling it hipster suburb, with all these amenities and services, hipstervia. Subject of selling, we already talked about it. You have to make sacrifices. You have to throw a layer of paint to the home. You maybe have to make a brochure as the owner about your property as to what you think is the best feature for your house, because people will go through it, they go see it, but they're not thinking, oh, I didn't explain this to you, this is also why you should buy my house, right? When you actually have a contract and sell, I have friends that have called me and say, well, my contract fell through, the person I guess wasn't really interested in buying, and they left the offer. Now, first of all, I'm not the realtor, because if I was the realtor, I would make the buyer responsible. How do you make a buyer responsible? If a buyer puts down more than $2,500 in earnest money, that buyer is gonna think about twice about losing that money if they don't want your property, because a lot of it is just self-insecurity from the buyer, not really an informed decision. But if I have more at stake, I am going to think about it twice. We get really happy as realtors to get that offer, but we also got to think that we're the negotiators for our clients. We represent our client interests. So what's in the interest in my client? Well, if the home is not updated, I want to get that higher earnest money so that they don't back out of the deal. When buying, the trends are steady. We are selling, the homes are selling out there, and there will be competition. I am talking about spring and summer. There will be 3 buyers for the same home. I was looking at a home the other day, and another set of families were already starting to come in to look at it. So you have to have the real. I like negotiating a lot, but it's a problem sometimes when putting offers, because I go for a slightly lower offer than regular. Now, in a market where you have a lot of competition, it's not really smart to go down a lot, because there will be someone else looking at that property that is not thinking negotiating, and they're just gonna go for a price that seems better, a price that they think the seller will accept, which will put you out of competition right away if you really wanted to get that house. There are homes that you're gonna look out there, keep an open mind. The clutter, the stuff around the house, like you can see in my house, doesn't matter. What matters is, am I able to take that out, look at the property, and still see a good product? If you still see a good product, imagining all the clutter away, then that is your home. Don't think about it too hard. There are homes in which you immediately know, I don't want this, I want to get out of here, I get a good vibe, and it's fine. If you're not comfortable in that house, you don't have to buy it. There's plenty more, there's a lot more to look at. We will continue to see homes at a higher price. So then again, like if you really want that house, you might want to think about offering a little more. If you're looking for an opportunity, if you're an opportunistic buyer, you can choose your prices accordingly. But also remember that you're competing with other people, and there's a certain price in which many other people will come in if they like that house. The homes will increase around 5% around spring and summer. So that's good news for the sellers, not very good news for the buyers. People ask me, well, where can I sell my home? Or I am going to tell you, as a buyer, you're going to have a tougher time in June. You're going to have a better time right now, specifically this spring. And you're going over the fall, the prices might come down a little bit. Thinking of buying, already start talking to your realtor, because it might be better to start planning right now, so that as soon as the spring hits, you have a loan and you're ready, because the market in June gets really, really tough. Hot market, and it means 3 to 4 buyers for the same home. I think that's it for my predictions. So in my letter, I kind of advise you, just be conservative, but don't be afraid to make the move, or there's people out there that can qualify for 2 homes if they want to help their children buy a home, for example, or people that had a short sale many years ago are now able to qualify in the market. So ask a professional. Don't be afraid to make the move, and also think about how much you can manage, how much you can control. Having said that, I will come back next month with the video of what a realtor can do for you, what are our different hats, and I don't feel a lot of people know that we don't only buy and sell, but we do other things. So I hope you also like the video in Spanish. I was talking about the trip I had and some other spiritual things. If you want a video that is more personal, make the comment, because I got some comments and I'm not gonna do it for this one if you don't want it. I love you all. Thank you, clients, friends, and family. Thank you for everybody that looked out for me when I was sick. I didn't answer to 1 or 2 clients for the same reason. Please try me again, and we will get to work.